Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Jeranism. Well, kind of. It is a Globebuster-ish show today. Thank you guys for joining us so much. Usually at this time we have the Globebusters show on the Globebusters channel, but Bob is feeling ill today, and so I thought I'd just do a short live stream, and I have David Weiss joining me. David, are you with me?
I am here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that very much. So we're going to be doing just a short show. It's not, I'm going to turn that off. It's not a Globebusters pre-show. Let me fix that for you. There you go. It is just a Jeranism show, a Globebuster-ish show. Also, we have Iru, who usually joins us, but he's not joining us live today because he's off doing a experiment, an observation, actually. But let me have him tell you where he's at. So we're going to have Iru join us in 1 second. Here he is. Iru, tell us where you're at.
Hello, guys. Well, we are here in Argentina with the R-Flat team recording the experiment, the observation from Buenos Aires to Uruguay, and the next objective is to make the same long-range observation from Uruguay to Argentina, which is the best one to test. But we are here with Franco. Say hello to the people of Globebuster.
Hello, Globebuster.
We are here with Marina. Hello. And well, we have some drone there to make a little bit of the behind the scenes. And here is one of the cameras, and the other camera is about the level of the water. This is the Rio of La Plata, which is the biggest river in the world. I say Rio, but I want to say river. So I am not going to be in the Globebuster show in the normal way I'm gonna be, but like a reporter. So I hope we can do the Uruguay to Argentina test, because for us is the most important thing. Here is just like the simulation, and trying to put all together, knowing the people. We incorporate new people to the team, so it's gonna be a little expensive. So I hope the community can help us to reach we need to reach about $1,000, and we have like $250, $300. So we're gonna, this time the equipment, well, here you can see the other part of the equipment, because the people that we are going to work, like Franco, Marina, another guy who is called Luis, they are from the background of broadcast television, so they bring really good equipment, and we can reach, even the idea is presenting to Netflix, because we have the contacts and we are filming in 4K with all the standards that is necessary to reach that kind of companies. So the idea is to make a long-range observation test with good quality and broadcast quality, so we can push the flat earth movement, from the Latin America team, because I like to see like we are really a big team. So I hope we can come out with nice results. So see you the next Sunday, guys. Bye bye.
All right, so that was Iru Landucci. Dave, I don't know about you, but he always cheers me up.
It's so good to hear his rich accent, unlike my rich accent.
What?
And he's just good. I'm so happy they're doing a high quality, well filmed, well produced report. It's what we need. More stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, he always cheers me up. And I forgot to mention Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We were going to keep the Globebusters show shorter than normal, just because we all had plans. I've got plans to drive to Gilroy, my hometown, to see Mom today and thank her for giving the birth to me, and to just give her appreciation, as we all owe our mothers quite a bit. I don't think any of us would be here without our mothers. Isn't that true, Dave?
I got to look into that.
Do some research on that, would you?
Everything else that I thought was true isn't true. So before I just give an unthinking yes, I've never looked into it extensively as it not being a possibility. I'll let you know next week.
All right, we'll come back to that topic. No. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I know I don't have a huge female audience. Usually it's about anywhere from 10 to 15% according to YouTube analytics. But still, to those 10 or 15% of you that are mothers, happy Mother's Day. And Dave, I'm excited because I didn't get the text that I got on Easter Sunday, which told me, or the day before Easter Sunday, that told me I couldn't talk about flat Earth or conspiracies at that particular festivities, because there was a family that, and I've told this story on Globebusters. I think I also told it on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, there was a family coming that has 2 teenage daughters that have always taken to me. They like talking to me, and kind of let them know some of my opinions and beliefs about the shape of the Earth, about science, about pseudoscience, about education and it being indoctrination. Well, I guess on the drive home from a recent, this is a long time ago, maybe a year ago, those girls asked too many questions of their parents to the point where they had to text my mom and say, hey, we'll come to Easter, but can you tell Jeran to not talk to our daughters about flat Earth? So I didn't get that text today, which means that family is not coming, which means that I got an open table. I can talk about whatever I want. So my free speech has been given back to me. I feel good about that.
I wouldn't count your chickens yet. You're going to get there, and she might throw in hey, it's Mother's Day, same rules in effect. So let's hope not, though.
Let's hope not. No, I don't think that'll be the case. I think it's just this one particular family that, for whatever reason.
Just in case, only bring one shirt, the one that you're wearing, and make it a flat Earth shirt. That way you could be like, sorry, it's all I have.
Maybe I'll wear my Truth Matters shirt.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So, no, I tried to plug that a few times. I'll plug it again. Just those of you who like the Nathan Stoltman Lift the Veil channel, he's not monetized by YouTube, so he's got a great store, truthclothing.io. Check it out. He's got some awesome shirts, and it was great to see Jamie Cisneros at the Saturday meetup that I went to a week ago yesterday in Sacramento. He had that Truth Matters shirt as well, which means at least other people are also supporting Nathan. So if you want to support him, go to truthclothing.io, get yourself a nice shirt, good quality blends, great shirts, and a great show. Lift the Veil does some great work. Would you not agree, Dave?
I totally agree. He's so focused, and his producer does a good job.
Oh, she does great.
I like it.
Yeah, Doshi's awesome. Yep, Doshi in 2020. For those of you looking at that. Yeah, so check out his channel.
Paige likes his shows, especially because of Doshi. So it's good. It brings more people in that might not just want to focus on his stuff. So
does Miss Puppy. Miss Puppy enjoys the show. She just stares at the upper right-hand corner just nonstop, and if that cat moves, she gets pissed.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, we just want to cover a couple things. Let me go to this video real quick. I won't play any of it, but it is mirrored on the Globebusters channel. Is it also on your channel, Dave?
It's on the Facebook of the Flat Earth podcast page.
Podcast page. Okay, got it. An awesome video. It's done by probably Alexandra is the name of the channel. She's only got 2,000 subs. I just added myself as one of those. I just started listening to it this morning. I'm only about halfway through, and it was amazing. So, I mean, this is what I'm probably going to be listening to on my long drive to Mom's house today, and I think everybody should check it out. She does a absolute fantastic job. I think Bob even said, if I looked at the share that Bob did, that he was just amazed at her intelligence and the way that she presented it. And she says things that we've all been thinking for a long time. What'd you think of it, Dave?
Does anyone know who she is? Is she doing this on her own, or is she working with a group of people and she's just the spokesperson? I'm assuming it's her and it's all her, but I don't know if there's a group of people and she's just the face in front.
No, I think it's just her. I mean, I haven't checked out her channel to see other videos. Let's look at it real quick since I'm on that already. Let's see. We're going to her channel here. Let's see what she's got.
I tried to reach out to her, but her comments are off and there's no contact. I wanted to have her come on either Raw or the Flat Earth podcast.
No, it looks like she's got videos starting about a year ago. She's talking about the illuminated sons of the Golden Dawn here, the Mark of the Beast, a video about Illuminati. Looks like, yeah, some great videos. The Cult of Keck, which, a lot of people have heard about that about a month ago. Trump's race to 5G, which was scary. I actually noticed that on Saturday at the Flat Earth meetup, Dave, that my phone for the very first time up in the upper left-hand corner said 5G. Have you seen that on your iPhone yet?
I have not.
Yeah, that was
great.
Yeah, when I was in Sacramento, it looks like for whatever reason, because I've never seen it in my hometown at all or anywhere else I've been. But for some reason, the particular park that we were at in Sacramento, which was McKinley Park, yeah, I looked down at my phone, and for some reason, up where it usually says 4G, or sometimes it says LTE. In this particular case, it said 5G for the first time. But anyway, she did a video called...
They're rolling it out.
They are rolling it out. So be careful. Use, I don't know, like everybody else, I don't put the phone to my ear anymore. I've told people that if you call me, you will definitely be talking on speakerphone. Also, yeah, so check out her video. Again, it's called Are You Believing a Lie? She's very well spoken, and yeah, it would be great to talk to her. There's another video down here, Trump is not a savior. So anyway, she does some great videos. I'm assuming I haven't seen, like I said, just the first 15 minutes of this video is all I was able to watch before we went live, but I can't wait to watch the rest, and I think everyone else should do the same. So check it out. Definitely a great video there. So look into that. The other thing we wanted to discuss, Dave, did you have something you wanted to say about a recent app update for the Flat Earth Sun and Moon and Zodiac Clock app?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's coming along. I'm adding a lot of new stuff. What's amazing is I come up with these ideas, and then all of a sudden people start emailing, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do that?" And we all seem to be in sync on what's next. So, iOS was just updated last week. It now has in settings on the upper right a share with friends button, which is going to expand next week for both platforms. It'll have every platform, from Facebook to text message. Right now, it's just email. So if you want to send it to somebody. The other thing is I've added the moon data, the moon phase
that's
range,
asked for
which
a lot.
is
I've heard a lot
right
of
on the
people-
front page.
A lot of people asked for that.
Also.
Oh, sorry. A lot of people have asked for that. Just pointing that out.
Yeah. So that also you'll notice if it's on iOS, it gets cut off a little bit on the right when it's near 100%. But that's going to be corrected next week. Adding Japanese next. I have it in more languages than I can remember. So, and then there's a widget function coming where it's just going to be a simple widget so you can add it to your home screen for the Android users. That's coming next week, hopefully. And I can't even remember what else I'm adding, but some other good functions. So, hey, if anybody has ideas and, hey, there's something you want to see, shoot me an email. Please keep it just short and to the point. And if it's a good idea, I will add it to the app because we're continuing to make it better and better. Oh, the other thing is notifications.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I've been getting those every
the
day.
notifications, I'm getting a lot of responses. People love them. I kind of like turn notifications off on most things, but Flat Earth, you get one notification a day from the app, tells you what the video is about. I think it's real good. People like it.
No, I think it's great too, and it's not too intrusive. Yeah, I'm like you. I definitely turn off most notifications from most of my apps, but this one, to wake up every day or just get that one notification a day telling me something about Flat Earth, either it's a video that has been posted or it's some little factoid. I think it's awesome. So yeah, definitely check that out and turn notifications on.
The other thing, sorry. We have a little delay. The other thing is that it just doesn't tell you if you now tap on the weather, which is active on both platforms. If you just tap the weather, it opens up your local forecast in dark sky, which is great forecast. It has the radar map. If you scroll down on the far right, below that, it has your detailed forecast. So if you're using the app for your morning weather to see what you'll be wearing or doing that day, it's you can get a detailed forecast rather than just a high or low.
Very cool. Yeah, super awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, we might have John the Moore guy. I didn't mention he might be on the show if he gets home in time. He said he might be home around 12:30, which would be in about 15 minutes. So if we're still on the air, John might join us. But for now, it's just David and I. We just heard from Iru, and we hope Bob gets better. Bob is under the weather. And then next week, there will be a Globebusters show, but I will be running it, which means there'll be tons of audio problems and issues. No, I'm just kidding. I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen. But
so wait, and the last thing is, for those of you that don't know,
yes.
It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock. It's available in Google Play and iTunes.
Yes, excellent teaching tool. I definitely think you should get it, and it's fun to show people. One of the things I did was show those girls that app. Maybe that's what really frustrated those parents that said, we don't want Jeran talking about Flat Earth or any of his conspiracies. But they call them conspiracy theories. I call them conspiracy facts, because it's only a conspiracy theory if you're just making shit up. But when there's evidence, it becomes conspiracy. That's exactly what it is. And I've pointed out many times, the whole world is a conspiracy. Everything is a conspiracy, really. And you've heard what the CIA has done by implementing that word, conspiracy theorist, conspiracy theory, just to scare people away from looking too deep. And if you want to hear more about that, again, you need to check out that video done by probably Alexandra. She talks about it a lot and exactly all the problems with you have Jake Paul and Logan Paul and all these guys that work for Disney basically coming out and denouncing the Flat Earth. But there is a concerted effort, David, of the mainstream trying to get you not to look into Flat Earth.
Yeah, she points that out well. One of the things that she said, and I've heard it before, but it really clicked with me, is when someone says, "Where's your proof of the Flat Earth?" She goes, "It's not up to us. We don't need to prove it. Flat Earth is an observation. Flat stationary is an observation. If you think we're spinning and swirling and spiraling, show me the proof of that." And that's where there is none.
Yeah, it's the reversal of proof fallacy, which happens all the time to Flat Earthers. I see it in my comments constantly. People saying, well, show me a map, show me a model, show me how it works, show me how the sun works. And they think that if we can't do that, that it means that what we're saying isn't true. And that's just not the way it works. We're the ones questioning all the claims by the heliocentrists that have forced things on the public through public indoctrination, through public education, through every movie, video, every commercial, you name it. At the beginning of every movie, every logo that has the spinning Earth. All that has been forced on people, and they never had a chance to step back and ask, where's the scientific proof of this, or where's the scientific method in this? And if you do, that's when you become a flat earther. Once you realize that this is nothing more than the story of a few men. It is, and they've done a great job at propagating it and pushing it out there and convincing people that it is actually scientific, and it isn't. And it doesn't follow the scientific method, and all you have to do is just research that yourself a little bit, and you'll come to the conclusion that we all have, that what they've taught us is pseudoscience. Nothing more.
There's I thought I was muted. My school teacher, who I had a long discussion with, I talked about on a show, and she's just totally locked into the ball. She posted an article the other day by the spaceacademy.org, and the article name is Earth Endangered by New Strain of Fact-Resistant Humans.
Oh, boy.
Do you get all that?
I did.
Earth endangered by new strain of fact-resistant humans. What amazes me is all of these things that we get accused of by the Globers are exactly what they're guilty of.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unreal.
Yeah, it's like deflection, they call it, or whatever. Yeah, everything that they say that we do, you don't have this, you don't have that, is exactly the problem that we're trying to point out to them, and they just return it right back. And again, if people want to believe in the spinning ball theory and the flying through the vacuum of space, all they need to do is just do a little bit of research into it. Where did it come from? And you'll actually see that you've been lied to on a mass level.
Yep.
So one of the other things we wanted to do on today's show is, if you're looking at the thumbnail right now, I just put Globebusters show for May the 12th, 2019, but I put it in front of the new lunar lander, which is called Blue Moon. I changed it to Blue Lie. Jeff Bezos presented that this week. I saw it on a news report. Let me bring that up just so everyone can watch, and we'll watch it together. I know I sent it to David. I'm like, man, can you believe this nonsense? And then we'll look at a little bit of this continued propaganda that's been going on and on from NASA about returning to the moon. And people might say, oh, well, this is Blue Origin. It's different. It's all the same game. And let's watch. This was actually on the news, and we'll kind of walk through it a little bit. Here we go.
Richest man highlighting his latest high-tech mission.
So again, I'll just start off, and we'll kind of go through this so I don't get any copyright and just point out the hilarity to it. Dave, do you have a problem? I mean, this is the world's richest man. You'd think that he'd have his, he'd be up to his neck deep in things he needs to do for his own company. But instead, no, he's worrying about sending people to the moon. He's now announced in front of a whole audience. And again, I always watch NASAWatch.com is a great website. And NASA Watch actually tried to get to this event, and they wouldn't let him. So anybody that's a media, and he's a member of the media, and he believes in space and everything else, but he just pointed out on his website recently how funny it is that Jeff Bezos doesn't allow certain media to these events. Also, he doesn't do them live. So this was not live streamed. How hard would that be? You can stick your phone in the back of the room and do a live stream of this. He doesn't do any of that. It's very guarded. People also know that Blue Origin, which launches these little crafts and shows you video of the craft going up 20 miles, 30 miles, and coming back down and landing, is never televised live. There's nothing live about it. It could totally be edited footage. They don't even tell you where it takes place or when. They just show up with a video saying, hey, we tested this new Blue Shepard thing the other day. And he's already talking about he's going to send people to the moon in this craft here that you see on the screen. Oh, shoot.
Is there supposedly a large audience there?
My bad. There's a small audience that you can see, maybe 5 rows of people that I can see, but I don't know how many more people than that. And
I mean, that's all. It's all staged. Whatever is there, whatever you see, that's all that's there.
Right. And I actually listened. You'll have to go and look at the real video. This is just a little news segment on NBC News. But the one that he actually did, it's like a 55-minute presentation or something. He says some of the most hilarious things. One of the things he says is this little picture happens with this craft flying over the moon, and he tells people, now what you're seeing here is not a cartoon. It's actual real physics. But then he goes on, it's clear, it's CGI. It is a cartoon. Just because you use real physics doesn't mean it's not a cartoon. If I show you Scooby-Doo and they throw a ball back and forth to each other, I can't just say, well, this is not a cartoon because it's real physics. Well, yeah, it's real physics if they're throwing the ball back and forth to each other, but it's a cartoon. This is a cartoon. This is CGI. Clearly, it's not. Nobody's claiming this to be real, but he's trying to tell the audience this is not a cartoon. It's actually real footage. It's real physics. Oh boy, yeah, the physics that you made up, of course. But let's continue. And sorry, I didn't have it on the screen for everybody, so I'll start it from the beginning here.
Moon. The world's richest man highlighting his latest high-tech mission.
This is Blue Moon.
Jeff Bezos unveiling a cutting-edge lunar lander called Blue Moon that he says could be a pioneer in space exploration and colonization.
It's time to go back to the moon, this time to stay.
Even showing these images.
This is great. Even showing these images. What is this?
Envisioning what a mass colonization in space could look like.
This is a mass colonization in space could look like. I mean, folks, this is science fiction to a T. There's nothing real about this. Think about this. He's never sent a person more than a few miles into the sky, like airplanes do that they've done for almost 100 years. So, or more than 100 years, whatever. But this is ridiculous. How could you say, oh, we're going to go to the moon by 2024? He's just like SpaceX. They've never sent a person to space. Yet they're telling you, oh, we're going to be sending people to the moon by 2024. It's ridiculous. It's all propaganda. Let's continue this.
Including homes.
Yeah, here we go. This is a space colony. Do people actually think that this is anywhere near in the future? It's ridiculous. Even the thought of it, if you just really conceptualize, they're so far away from this. So far, even if space is real. They're mountains away from this, and this guy's talking about it like it's around the corner. Ridiculous.
High-speed transportation.
Oh, yeah, now we're going to get high-speed why don't you worry about high-speed transportation on the Earth first? Okay, why don't you worry about these monorail systems that are going to send people from San Francisco to L.A. like we've been hearing about forever? Worry about that first. When we've got all that concrete and cemented, then you can make up all these lies that you want about what's going to be happening in the sky. Let's continue.
In perfect climates. Bezos.
Yeah, perfect climates. By the way, they say that the colonies that they're going to place on the moon and in orbit of the moon will be like Maui weather all day long. This is what they're selling to you, folks. You want to believe that? Go right ahead.
Says creating an infrastructure in outer space for future.
Look at this thing. You think they're going to build this? You ever seen the disgustingness that is the ISS? What is this? Now we're going to have trees growing and plants and all this travel, high-speed travel in space. If anybody's buying any of this, man, I got a bridge to sell you.
Generations to build on is vital for our planet, and Blue Moon could help.
We're going to build a road to space.
Mm-hmm.
And then amazing things will happen.
Oh, then it will, yeah.
Blue Moon is the brainchild of Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin. The Amazon founder launched Blue Origin back in 2000, 2 years before Elon Musk founded SpaceX, another company with its sights set on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That's one small step for man.
I have another question about this, Dave. When have you ever
Yeah.
seen video footage that is see-through?
Yeah, and they cut it off just before the light swings down and hits him in the side.
It's like, I don't understand the see-through part. Like, I've never seen
Well-
videos so bad that it's see-through.
It's because of the gamma rays from outer space corrupting the
Oh.
film, and it burned through the film.
And burned through the astronauts so we could see by him? I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused there. Look at it. It's just see-through. You can see the space mine. Oh, man. The fact that people still are buying into this, and it's a high percentage of people that still think that we went to the moon. And I've talked about it many times before that even if you believe what Blue Origin's doing and you believe what SpaceX is doing, then all that they're doing is disproving the fact that we went to the moon 50 years ago. Because they're all
Right.
excited. They're celebrating these crafts going up 50 miles in the sky, coming back and landing, and they don't have people in them. And the craft that lands doesn't just take off again. But they want you to believe that they sent a craft 250,000 miles into the sky. It landed on a foreign body no one's ever been to, landed just fine. They got out, played some golf, drove around in a moon buggy, got back in, and launched again back to the Earth. And people still think and call that science and still believe it. Wow.
Right. You know, with the 50th anniversary coming up, they got to put out a lot of stuff because the debugging or debunking of the moon landing stuff is coming out. So they need to outdo whatever we're coming up with. You have your interview on Veritas coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't know when it will be released. It's just I actually do the interview in a few days. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to be announcing that I have a movie coming out, and I'm not going to give the exact date of the release of that movie. It's either going to be somewhere between July 16th and the 20th, around the 50th anniversary. So look forward to that. It'll be kind of my first attempt at like a real feature film rather than just one of my normal videos. So I've definitely had fun already starting to put it together, getting some of my clips together. But I'm going to be announcing that on the Veritas show, that's coming up. And it will be free. It will be on my YouTube channel. So.
And also today on the app, I put a Taboo Conspiracy 2. Put he did it in like 4 parts. The series of Dave McGowan's book, The Moon. What is it called?
Moon Doggy.
What is it called?
Moon Doggy.
Moon Dog. So yeah, the Moon Doggy, whatever it is. It's Dave McGowan who's left us reading his book. It's funny and factual. It's a great listen. There are some visuals, but you don't have to. You can just listen to it. So take it on a walk with you or when you're traveling, and make sure you catch the whole series. It's phenomenal and super educational. So when the 50th anniversary does come up and people are defending the moon, you'll have tons of ammo to hit them with.
Absolutely. Let's continue this propaganda piece.
Only 24 people have ever orbited or landed on the moon.
Correction, 0.
All of them Americans. The last lunar mission was nearly half a century ago. Thursday's announcement ramping up expectations for Americans to make a return. In March, Vice President Pence challenging NASA to get back.
To return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
According to Bezos, that 2024 goal is within reach, thanks to Blue Moon. An entrepreneur and business titan shooting for the stars.
Give me a break.
Hold on for a second.
Go ahead.
Didn't Kennedy say we're going to the moon and we went in without any of the technology in place? We did it in, wasn't it like 2 years, or correct me? How long was it when he announced it till we went to the moon?
I believe he announced that in 61 or 62, so it would have been a little less than 10 years.
Okay, so less than 10 years. But now that we have all that technology, it's so much later, we have so much more, it's going to take us 5 years to get back?
It's ridiculous. It
Makes
absolutely
no
sense. No. Again, space travel is the only industry that has gone not just backwards, but progressively backwards. They're getting worse and worse. And again, you have to look at the amount of money that NASA's getting to basically tell lies to you every day. One of the things that I want to point out about this Pence thing, and again, some people might believe that Pence is just full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about, et cetera, et cetera. But this article here, Vice President gives NASA 5 years to put Americans back on the moon or else, is just an interesting article because if you scroll down to the kind of final comment that is made, and it's a quote, it says, the question stands as to what this will mean for the future of NASA and what else will be defunded in order to return humans to the moon. As Pence said, should things prove difficult, the president plans to change the organization, not the mission. So I think that's hugely telling. What it's basically saying is that, and again, I'm not a believer that Pence or Trump knows that the Earth is flat. They don't know that space is fake. They simply believe the heads of NASA that are telling them, oh, no, we'll get there eventually. Oh, no, we'll get there eventually. And so they're at the point now where they're saying, screw this, man. If you guys can't do what you did 50 years ago, then it's time to change the organization. So maybe this is kind of the end of NASA, but this could be, it's all propaganda, meaning it's just a way to set up companies like Blue Origin, to set up companies like Elon Musk's SpaceX, so that people no longer think that it's their government money that's going to them, even though all that SpaceX does is government funded. So it's all government subsidies. It's it's just ridiculous that people can't see the correlation here, that they all work together. And so again, I don't see and you can look at the Israel crash landing. People saw that recently. I have questions about that as to could that be propping up something like Jeff Bezos so that it gives them another 5 years, right? Israel tries to go to the moon. They crash. One of the things that came up in last week's Globebuster episode is that the Israel Space Agency only runs on a budget of $50 million a year. Now, if that's true, then just think about the fact that how easy would it be for somebody like Jeff Bezos or anybody, the government that just makes money at a will, to pay off space or Israel, say, hey, we'll give you $100 million to go and pretend like you crashed there. And then what they do, now they've got $100 million, and now what you can do is you prolong the same thing. And it's been prolonged forever now. And I'm going to show you an example of that. I typed in here to the search bar. Let me make sure people can see. Yeah, so if you see the top of my search bar, it says NASA returns to the moon. Now, I just want to show you something. If we go to Tools, and you can do this in your Google, go to Tools, go to Anytime, and change it to Custom Range. So then I'll just pick May 1st through May 1st, whatever. And then I'm going to change the date here. I'm just going to put in 1990 to 1992. And you can do this yourself. So I just changed it to May 1st, 1990 to May 1st, 1992. And, of course, you get something that comes up right here. January 15th, 1992. Let's see here. Plans are developed to return man to the moon and continue on to Mars. And then you go a little bit further down, and it talks about the same thing. You're going to keep seeing this. And now what you can do is just go change Tools again, or change the date. Go to Custom Range. Change it now from 1992. Sorry, my keyboard's hard to get to. 1992 to 1994. Okay, we're just doing 2-year segments. Hit OK. And then you get here, 30 years later, as we prepare to return to the moon and continue on to the Mars, it's time to it just goes on as NASA plans a return to the moon and an expedition to Mars, where no flag has gone before, blah, blah, blah. And you can just keep changing the date. At what point do people realize you're being scammed? When do you start to realize 1994 to 1996? Go. It'll be another thing that says Apollo astronauts have returned samples. Let's see, on the moon, some of them have sprinkled a chill. See here, I'm trying to see to the moon. 2 advanced life support systems, going on and on. Never got to be a man on the moon. Project Horizon. But basically, just go through each of these years and just keep changing it. And you'll see story after story of the same thing, that NASA's going to go to the moon. It's coming. It's around the corner. Go 1996.
Yeah, but they're serious this time. 5 years.
Right.
They're serious this time.
Right. As we prepare to return to the moon. Here it is again.
Delay, of course.
So you'll just see, and these are just from NASA. 30 years later, as we prepare to return to the moon. Well, now it's 50 years later. So at what point do people start to see, here's a return down here, NASA, and recommend a strategy for developing the required technologies for a return to the moon and then for the Mars. But they just keep doing this. But you have to realize, wouldn't you do this if someone said, hey, David, I'm going to give you $21 billion a year to get to the moon, to be a space agency. Well, if you just keep prolonging it and you keep saying, we're going back, we're doing this, we're doing that. And if you look at every president from, I know it went with Ford, then you go to Bush, then you go to Reagan, then you go back to Bush. All these, or that was out of order, whatever. But you'll see that they all have made the same announcements as Trump made. That, nope, now this time we're going to go back. And then Obama came and said, we've already been to the moon, so we should do to Mars. And now they come back and Trump says, no, we shouldn't go to Mars, we should go to the moon. So whoever the next president is just going to change that, and people will keep buying it. And you could just keep changing the date to whatever the custom range that you want. Now go 1998 to 2000, and you'll start to see that we have a problem here. It's 2000 doesn't seem like that long ago until you realize it's 19 years ago. It's like, what do we need to do here? It's just ridiculous that they keep coming back and saying that they're going to be doing this. They're going to be sending people to the moon. It's coming. It's right around the corner. Wouldn't we have all the technology already? I don't know. To me, it's very simple to see that we're being lied to on a mass level. And, and so I think that these guys are getting fed up with it too. Now, it certainly is just an easy way to prolong the same thing again. So, yeah, this may look to me like, oh, well, he's saying that if things prove difficult, they're going to change the organization. Well, they've never really done that since NASA's inception, right? Look at what happened with the James Webb Telescope. I think now they're up to $12 billion. It was originally supposed to be $6 billion or $5 billion that they requested from Congress to help them fund this telescope. It was supposed to launch in something like 2010. That came and went, and then they said we need more money, so the budget went up to $8 billion. They again came out in 2000.
Can't quit now. You're too deep.
Right, you're too deep, and they do a great job of that, right? If you're Congress, you can't just pull the plug on a $10 billion project. So as long as they keep coming out and pushing it out, prolonging the what I call inevitable, that nothing's going to happen. And what is the James Webb Telescope going to do? Go and take more fantasy images like Hubble does? I mean, it's ridiculous. So, and they keep getting more money. Here we go. Look at but does offer this new proposal, whatever, does offer $300 million in funding for developing a lunar lander. Guys, they already have one. Why would you need funding to develop a lunar lander? You already went there. You went there 6 times. It was easy. The thing landed, didn't have any problems. You were able to get out. There was no leaks. Everybody was fine. So what's going on? What are we really believing here? And people eat it up, man. They love space. They love sci-fi. They love, Star Wars and Star Trek, and they've been sold on the idea of space so much. People stopped worrying about the Earth, which I think is all that there is. I think the Earth is of prime importance. It is the center of all creation. It was created for us, and everything around it is for signs and times and for our benefit. When you're talking about the calendar, the perfect sky clock, check out David's app for evidence of that. But I mean, it's just ridiculous to me that when are we going to have people wake up to this? And even though sometimes they may seem like it, in this case it seems like, oh, Pence is waking up to this. But again, if we check back in 3-4 years, in 5 years, it's just going to be them saying the same thing again. It won't be Pence. This time it will be whoever's the vice president then, or whoever they put in charge of their new space committee. But they'll be just saying the same things that we've already heard. So, I don't know, Dave. Does that make sense to you?
It makes total sense. I mean, Pence could be, I think that many of these guys are just, career politicians, and they've been mind controlled. They're,
right.
Probably MK Ultra'd, for lack of a better term, into saying and doing and believing whatever they want. And, along with blackmail and everything else that goes with it.
Nope, I totally agree. So I just think it's more nonsense, and people buy into it. I mean, this is the kind of propaganda power that they have. Is all Jeff Bezos needs to do is stand on a stage and point to basically this craft that you're seeing on your screen now. Point to this and say it's going to the moon, and everyone oohs and ahs, and it makes the news on every news channel in the world. This is news, and it will go out, and everybody believes it. And they
look
all
at the
agree.
legs on that thing. Look how sturdy they look.
Man, that is absolutely incredible.
Well, that's so because amazing. It's only 1/6 gravity, man. They're not landing it on Earth.
Oh boy. And it's got the same little funnel cone at the below. They can't go too off of what the Apollo craft, which was made out of curtain rods and some shower curtains and, of course, some chalices on top to make you believe that thing could actually fly 250,000 miles, land on the moon. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's so much wrong with the moon landing. It's all in my head because I've been working on that video and that movie. But there's just so much wrong with it when you talk about the fact that you hear Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin just talking back and forth with, we got 60 feet, 50 feet, and there's no sound of a blast engine that would be literally right underneath them. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's just such a joke that people have bought into this. And people say, oh, there's no sound in space. Yeah, you've been told that. But again, they're sitting right underneath it. It would travel through the whole craft and shake it down to it would fall apart. And we've seen people say, oh, you could stick your finger through the wall. And I'm not saying people like, moon landing debunkers or anything. I'm talking about these actual guys who say that they went. They say, oh, the walls were so thin. They were one sheet of tinfoil thick, and somebody could have just poked their finger through it. It's just ridiculous. It's so sickening. And I still have a question, Dave, and this is a big one for me. Can anybody explain why wouldn't Neil Armstrong swear on the Bible that he went to the moon?
Because it's sacrilege to swear on the Bible for anything.
Oh, even if it's something that's true?
You should never swear on the Bible.
Oh, I'll swear on the Bible for something true. If somebody wants to tell me, hey, swear on the Bible that your name is Jeran, you run a
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's a baller argument.
Oh, okay. And then they offered him $5,000 for his a charity of his choice, and his answer was, nope, knowing you, Cybro, that's probably a fake Bible. Which, again, is like what you said earlier with heliocentrists turning things on flat earthers. It's like he's saying that he didn't go to the moon landing was fake, and then he says, well, I'm not swearing on that Bible because knowing you, it's probably a fake Bible. No, it's knowing you probably didn't go to the moon.
No kidding.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the LEM being paper thin, they're admitting that it's paper thin. Right. Well, if it's paper thin, how does it hold any air in there?
Oh, I don't know.
How is that even a possibility? That
it's not.
Was it not pressurized?
No, it has to be. Of course, it has to be pressurized. The other thing I don't understand is I've heard people say, "Oh, well, the whole thing is wrapped in tinfoil, which reflects the heat away." I don't know if you've ever baked a potato, Dave, but put a potato inside of tinfoil in your oven, and yes, at the end of the bake cycle, you can probably grab.
Jeran, do you use gold tinfoil or tin tinfoil?
I'm sorry, mine was silver.
Yeah, you have to use gold tinfoil, and then it stays nice and cool at about 68.
The potato comes out just.
Wait a minute, if that was the case, why don't they just put tinfoil around houses, and you won't need air conditioning?
I have no idea, but it's a great idea. I don't understand any of the nonsense. It's such crap. It's such science fiction. And if you go back and look at these videos, it's so clearly, and I think I still want to do a show with Yuru where he shows some of his footage that he has of all these crafts, the Mercury craft and things like that, in a warehouse hanging from wires. And the way that it turns all mechanically is exactly what you see from the craft as it's supposedly going around the moon. And then you get pictures of them with the track in front of the, the ball. The ball that they have the moon projected on. It's so easy for them to fake. I don't know how people don't see it.
Hey, 2 minutes before we started the show, I was watching D Marble did a live stream this morning showing some WikiLeaks leaked footage of outtakes of the moon landings. I'm not sure if that's old or brand new, but it was some incriminating stuff. They're literally showing them setting it up, the conversations, try this, try that. Very interesting. So I skimmed through it. If anybody wants to go check that out, and
it came from WikiLeaks.
It came from WikiLeaks.
Wow, I gotta check that out.
It had a little WikiLeaks stamp on it. So
interesting.
Sometimes I've seen stuff they say it's from WikiLeaks, and they'll edit it with real footage and go back and forth, and it's a trap just to make people look stupid. But this looked pretty damn convincing. Just like at the beginning where you showed the first step on the moon. Well, that's the exact scene where the lamp falls down and slams into the guy, and all the guys in business suits jump up from over the edge and come and fix it.
Right. It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, David and I don't want to go too deep today simply because we have a show tomorrow, and if you don't know what show that is Jeranism Monday Night Raw. It is the current reigning and defending #1 show on Truth Frequency Radios. That's Monday nights from 6 to 8 Pacific. That's 9 to 11 Eastern. So, yeah, definitely join us tomorrow. If we go too deep today, we won't have anything to talk about, Dave. But one thing...
plenty to talk about.
That's true. We never run out of things to talk about. We're always at the end of the show and still talking. We can never even time it right so we can actually have an end of the show. Let's talk about the Zoom Truth website. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I'll go ahead. You want to start?
Nope. You shoot. Go ahead.
Zoom Truth, he started a thing called Flat Earth Friend Finder, and the initial gut reaction, first from the trolls and from the people that are paranoid, is it's a tracking device to label us and figure out where we all are. But if you don't think that anyone that matters doesn't know where you are and what you're saying, you've got some more thinking to do. Right. But basically, you can just you don't have to put in a specific address. You can put in a city and state. You can put the city next door to yours.
Do you want me to try and do it as an example here? I have it up on the screen. So I'll do one real quick, and I'll do one for Missa. You'll see I'm already on here. You'll see Jeran Atwater. And then so I'm going to go add me to the Flat Earth map. Okay, so this is at zoomtruth.com. And it's a Flat Earth People Finder. Also, you can hit this Flat Earth People Locator here, and then there's a embed code if you want to put it on your website. It's on my website. But basically, you can then find yourself wherever you want to put yourself. So let's say here, @water, we'll drop a little tag there. Name, so I'll put Missa. Category, I'm putting Flat Earthers. Hopefully people can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, they can. And then we'll screw down a little bit more. You can put in your address if you want. I just dragged my little thing here, so we're fine. Telephone, if you want to put that in, you can. You don't have to. Email, if you want to put that in, you can. So I'll put in Mrs. email address, which is missa@Jeranism. Oops, can't type. .com. Go ahead, you can talk while I fill this out.
Yeah, so, no, go ahead, finish what you're doing, and then I want to tell my experience on what happened with me.
Sure. So then website, I just put Jeranism.com. Description, I don't know, email me, whatever. And then down here, puts in the latitude, longitude for whatever you selected up here. So it's going to have the city of Atwater here. And then you just hit save. And that's it. So then what happens is, I think it takes, wait, did that not work? Did I not do it right? Please.
No, it takes like 24 hours.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it says once you've added a store,
once you do it,
approved. Right.
Yeah. Once you do it, Dave has to just approve it, make sure it's not, bots or whatever, and you have nothing to lose. So I did it, and there's probably less than 0.1% of flat earthers that have signed up for this. And within a day, a girl by the name of Victoria saw that, I put my YouTube name in, and she's like, "Oh, DITRH." My email was at the Flat Earth Podcast. And she's like, "Oh, I can trust this guy." Contacted me. She is across Long Island Sound from me, and I always want to do experiments, with the sun flash or something. But for me to send somebody over there, it would take 4 hours if I'm lucky. Have to pay to get into a beach, and you would never be able to do it. But she's 10 minutes from the beach, so now we're ready. When the conditions are good, I can say, "Hey, 10 minutes, boom, go to the beach," and we'll have our spot lined up when the conditions are right, and we'll be able to do an experiment. So
awesome.
Boom, I got in contact with somebody. It was just exciting knowing that somebody is right there. Right. And then also, first day, a guy 12 miles away from me. And he, we started emailing.
Well, look at
look at
this. There's already, within 30 miles of me, there's already 5 people. And like Dave said, this is less than 1% of 1% of the entire Flat Earthers. We've only announced it once on last week's Raw. So as more people fill this out, and you can just click on my name, you'll see here. So if somebody clicks Jeran, it's going to give my location, but then it says my email address, my website. And then when you hit contact the store, it brings up your email program, and somebody can send me an email and say, "Hey, Jeran, I live close to you. If this guy, Alan here, if I want to go to him, I can, here's his email address, here's his website, and I can contact him, and I would be able to talk to Alan. Oh, this is Alan from Challenge the Flat Earth. Awesome. This guy's awesome. I met him at the Saturday's Flat Earth meetup. So again, you can go down here to Gus, and here's Gus Flatter223 at Zoho.com, so I can contact him. And it just allows you to get in contact with people that are close by. And didn't you mention that this William's going to do an improved version of this, right?
Yeah, so William, who's done my website, is working with Dave over at Zoom Truth and is going to really fix it up. Right now, he's using a program for Store Finder if you're looking for a type of store. So it'll be fixed up. But right now, even with the basic program that it is, it's amazing for locating people near you, especially if you're going to do a meetup. If you want to do a meetup, just go on there and say, how many flat earthers are within 25 miles from me? And just remember that it's right now, it's a really small number, but you'll see a whole bunch. And if you're going to do a meetup, you can email them. Boom, you have an instant meetup.
Right. And I just showed where the embed code is, so it's very easy. You can see here my website, and if you go to link, then I just go to Flat Earth People Finder here, and you'll see it's also right on my website, the same thing we were just looking at. So it's really easy to put on your website if you want to help it out a little bit, and it's just really easy to sign up for. And there is also, if we go back to, did I mess up here? Where did I go? Shoot. Hold on. Let me go back to the Zoom Truth. Yeah. So here, if you go down to the bottom, if for any reason, because it might auto-populate your address, and maybe you don't want your address on there, your phone number, right down here, it says email David to be removed from or change listing. So, oops, can you see that? No,
yeah, that actually happened to me. It does try to locate, use your IP address. So just make sure you have all of the information, that you want in there, or information that you don't want in there is not in there.
Right. So then if something does happen and you put too much information, you can, hopefully people can see that on the screen. It's way at the bottom here. I can't scroll down any further. Email David, and that just sends an email to david@zoomtruth.com, and he'll remove whatever problems there are. But again, you don't even have to put the city that you live in. Put the city next if you want. Just kind of get an idea of people that are around you.
Make a separate email address. If you're really, really paranoid, go to Gmail, make a different email address. Use your channel name. Don't use your channel name. Use your real name. Use any name you want. But, luckily for me, I use my channel name. Not that everyone knows who I am already, but just channel name and the email address, and people are like, oh, boom, and you have an instant, understanding of who you're talking with.
Right.
And the other thing is the trolls, the internet trolls, they're internet trolls. They're not going to do anything in person.
Right.
They don't come to our meetups.
No.
They don't do anything.
No, but NASA
they won't even
employees,
spend $2.99 to give me a bad review.
NASA employees come to our meetups, but they're on the side of the flat Earth. So,
one thing I want to point out is on the app I have a 4.7 rating in iTunes out of 5. Not bad, right?
Really
we had a troll attack early on that it's just getting mitigated. But when you go to iTunes, to the App Store, the first review they show you is the only 1-star review there is.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What a bunch of BS.
But if you scroll to the right, every review after that is 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It's amazing.
It must have been written by those guys over there at that channel that will not be named, right?
You mean that channel?
Yes.
No, I think it's just it's another channel from one of those other trolls. Whatever.
Hey, they're free to believe whatever they want, but they have a huge problem with people going against their beliefs. Why? Because there is no proof of this space that they say they live in. There is no proof of the spinning Earth. There is no proof that it's flying through some vacuum. But they hold it so deeply, and it's allowed them to become atheists. So I can see if you're an atheist, if you have a problem with the idea of a creator, you think that you're just an accident, well, then anybody saying anything differently, you're going to fight that tooth and nail.
Hey, just one last thing on the app is if you haven't left a rating already, just go over, leave a rating. I think you can you can give it a star rating whether you bought it or not. But if you bought it, you can leave a detailed rating. Just tell me what you think. If you hate it, leave a bad rating. But I'm confident that anybody that has it, anybody listening here, and that is using it, you'll give me 5 stars.
Yeah, the only thing that's pissed me off about it is it's really made me hate daylight savings because I want my son to go back to the hour hand.
Yeah, me too. But as long as it's better than being on the hour hand in the wrong position. Make sure if you're using it right now and you celebrate daylight savings that you go into settings, scroll down before you scroll right, and say show daylight savings, because that'll put the sun in the right position. Because right now we're observing false time to throw off our body clock.
Yep. Nope. So that's the only thing.
And it works.
I used to kind of just be like, daylight savings, get over it. But now I'm like pissed. I'm like, man, I want that sun above my head at noon, not at 1, at noon. But
yeah,
not the way it works. So yeah. Anyway, check out the app. It's a great item. It's a great teaching tool.
Wait, one more question for you.
Sure.
The amount of we get a lot of trolling on the AE map. I'm a shill because I pushed the already debunked AE map. How is it possible that it is noon on the AE map, wherever that sun is, accurately all around the world? How is that possible if it's not close to being very right?
Right, because you're a shill. It's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, because I'm a shill. That's right.
Somehow you worked with the sun, and you got it to exist above wherever the clock says it's above. And you called it a perfect clock, and you said the sky tells time, which seems to be correct, but I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people want to believe in the Pac-Man sun, that it's popping out this side, coming out this side. We got videos of people standing near the North Pole, Alaska, Norway, watching the sun do a circle around their head, but then they come back and they say, the sun does not circle. It's like, oh, it doesn't circle, even though we've got video of the exact thing happening. Anyway, again, some people might not want to believe that. I've seen enough evidence that I'm convinced, and I've even challenged people and said, hey, you want to do a bet where we'll both go up to Norway? We'll both, and the bet will be the other person pays for that person's trip. I'm convinced enough to know that we would see the sun circle. If people want to challenge me on that, then we'll do a public bet to where you're going to reimburse my trip if we go up there and film it and the sun does exactly what we know it will do, which is circle around your head. So, but they want to believe that it's going through gates and coming out the other side, chasing ghosts and picking up pellets on the way. Anyway, Dave, was there anything else that we needed to talk about? You did see my video on distilling my water this week.
Yeah, that was good. I think distilled water is one of the. If I had to give up every single thing I do health wise except one, I would keep the distilled water.
Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, absolutely. When
If
you
anybody
see,
is a subscriber of Veritas, you already heard veritasradio.com. They just did a piece on the importance of pure water, and it's a bigger conspiracy than you realize, because if people in cities knew how toxic their water is,
right,
there would be a revolution.
absolutely.
But yeah,
And I tried to
it's
point that
insane.
out. Yeah, I tried to
It's
point that out with
insane.
talking about, the fact that it's going through those lead pipes and how fluoride reacts with lead and how, I mean, it's doing so much damage. And, the only thing I could wish is that I would have found out about the distilled water years ago. But all we can do is move forward, right? So at least I feel like I'm as healthy as possible moving forward. And
And if people think it's too expensive, you're absolutely insane. You go to the doctor once. I guess a lot of people have insurance and you have a copay, but it's not worth being sick. When you're sick, you'll pay anything not to be sick. It's $230, and it's gonna last you for decades.
right.
Decades.
And again, nobody's making money. David's not making money. I'm not making money off promoting this. Again, I don't have an Amazon account. It's the same thing with the incline bed therapy, which we talk about. These are just things to just help you out, that make you feel
Oh,
better.
I get money from that actually. If you if you put your bed up on stilts,
I love it.
I get money.
Well, then can you send me half of what you got for me? Because
I'll send you 3/4 of what I got,
All right,
okay? But it's
sweet.
going to come in the form of an invoice.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just, when you hear things like that where you realize, and again, I pointed out that movie, Fluoride Gate, which is just a great movie to check out. And they did copyright claim my video, which is fine, because it's their work, and that's I want them to get the credit for it. That's fine. But anyway, check out my video if you want to learn how I distill my water and why. And it's scary. Now, one thing I did notice, Dave, I guess I thought it was in all states, but some people have made comments and said, oh, they don't do that in my state, or they don't do that in my country. So lucky for you, but make sure you get your water tested, because you may just not know it. I pointed out the same thing. You don't know which bottles of water contain fluoride. They will tell you on the label how much fat it has, which is hilarious, because I've never seen a bottle of water say there's any
and the
fat.
minerals thing. Have you looked into that?
Right. Yeah.
So they're not required to tell you what minerals. Minerals are arsenic, and
Right.
there's all of these things that are poison for your body that they can say are minerals.
Kirkland, which is the Costco brand, says right on the bottle, with minerals added for taste. Well, what minerals? What did you add for taste? Why can't? And if anybody, I mean, there's nothing better tasting than distilled water. Period.
Thank you.
Oh, there's nothing. So I mean, if anybody says anything about, oh well, this had to be added for taste, that's ridiculous. There's just nothing more pure than gulping a glass of distilled water. And this is, again, nobody's making money off this, guys. We're just trying to point it out because it will help you. It will make you feel better. It made me lose a bunch of weight. Hey, maybe it helped me quit smoking cigarettes. I don't know what made me help. I know it was my pneumonia, but still, it's been over 2 months, 2 months and 2 weeks since I've had a cigarette, and I've never felt better.
When people say, what was my point? I had a good point. It just disappeared.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't the taste. It was
Oh, you mean the fat and the minerals added for?
Oh no, the how we have all these toxins in our body. What can we do? The distilled water pulls these toxins out of your body, which has health, weight, mental clarity. It does all of these things. So I cannot. We can go on and on.
Yeah, we could do
another whole show on distilled water, but it's endless. That's the last I'm going to say about it. I've convinced. It's easier to convince somebody to do distilled water than a lot of other things. So
yeah, I agree. And then as far as people saying it costs too much, and again, I'm in that camp, because when I first heard about it, I remember when you and I believe Patricia Steer were talking about it, and this is probably at this point 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. I went and looked at it, and I said, oh man, $230 now, I just don't see it. But at that time, I was still buying bottles of Aquafina, bottles of water when I was out, maybe a case of water here and there. If you're buying those kind of things, you're just getting terrible water it's been in plastic, which has been out in the sun. Believe me, I used to work for a drugstore. I know when those trucks pull up and they pop cases of water, they'll sit outside in the sun. And where I was from, it would be 100 degrees, and that water would sit out there for hours and hours. Imagine the damage that's doing to the water, and people just buy those cases of water like crazy. Go to Costco, and every single cart, in everybody's cart, is 2 or 3 cases of water. And if you're somebody who buys any kind of bottled water, any cases of water, then there is no excuse as this being too much, because you're spending that much just in bottled water, and you'll never have to bottle your water again. Well, you'll bottle your own water. You'll never have to buy bottled water again, at least.
Right.
So.
And people say, somebody in chat just said that last time they drank distilled water it didn't taste good. Well, they bought bottled distilled water.
Right.
You might as well drink gasoline, because it's probably healthier for you than distilled water. Distilled water leaches more out of the plastic than regular water does.
Correct, yeah.
So you should never drink distilled water that's been sitting in a plastic bottle that's sold in stores. I think most of them that say not for human consumption, because they know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
the other day I did find, remember we talked about the toothpaste that don't have fluoride in it. I did see a toothpaste made by Tom's. Have you heard of?
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's what I use that, because I'm too lazy to make my own all the time.
Well, the interesting thing about that is when you read the back, it doesn't say anything about calling poison control if you swallow any. You ever notice that? But
that's nice. Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, but if you look at any other toothpaste that contains fluoride, for some reason it says if swallowed, call poison control. And don't give it to your children. And, I mean, they just can't come out and tell you that what they're doing is poisoning you. So, yeah, as far as it not tasting good, I understand what that person's saying. At first, when I heard about distilling water, I'm like, man, I don't want crappy tasting water. I like the taste of spring water. I like the taste of the water that comes out of those machines that might be outside of an Albertsons or, Lucky's, whatever. And once you taste the kind of distilled water we're talking about, once you distill it yourself, it is as pure and as perfect as it can be. It's just fantastic. And David says you can pee in that machine and it will come out pure and perfect. I'm not sure about that, but
I believe that the astronauts on the ISS distill their water.
Yeah, and they let the Russians piss in there. But
I don't know how they would even do that, because it needs gravity to work.
Oh, boy.
Maybe they have some microgravity up there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, check out that on my channel if you want to check out distilled water. It is a great video, I think, myself, but trying to think if there's anything else we want to talk about today. Just that. We want to talk about the Zoom Truth thing. Check that out.
ZoomTruth.com for the Flat Earth Friend Finder. There's no reason you shouldn't do it. Please sign up. Send it to your other Flat Earth friends that don't know about it, because as soon as it hits critical mass, it's going to be – somebody could be like, you know what, I want to do a Flat Earth meetup. Boom, there's 50 flat earthers around here. You'll have, because I've heard so many stories where people are like, oh, I didn't know there was a meetup right in Sacramento or wherever.
Yeah.
So
I got an email the other day from somebody who said, when are you going to do a Bay Area meetup? I'm like, we just had one on Saturday. What are you talking about? Just this week I got that email.
Join that.
Yeah.
It's on ZoomTruth.com. It's on Jeranism's channel. I'll probably put it on it might already be on my website. I don't know, but ZoomTruth.com. It's so easy to get to.
Okay.
Hey, one thing I want to point out, and you'll back me up on this. We get tons of people reaching out to us, and I want to talk to every single person. But the number of people that I get, hey, can you call me? I want to talk to you about something, or send me an email that says, hey, I've got something. Have you seen the video about blah, 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 blah? Here's the problem. There's not enough time in the day to talk to a tenth of the people that are reaching out. And a lot of people will send stuff and they won't include a link to what they're talking about. And they want me to go look it up. And unfortunately, I can't. And it sounds, people are like, oh, thanks for taking the time to talk to me when I finally do talk to them. If you have something to send me, please send it. I love when people send me stuff. Most of the stuff I find out is from other people sending it to me.
Right.
Keep it short, to the point, include the link. Don't say, have you seen this, and put a link, because I won't even click the link because I don't know what it is. So if you can do that, I'll be able to respond to more people. I'll be able to see more things. But there's only so much time in the day that I have to dedicate to this.
Right. And I do a lot of, live videos and making videos. And if I spent my time responding to everybody, I would never make another video. So that's the hard part for me. Some days I just ignore my email completely for 2 or 3 days when I'm making a video, and that might upset a lot of people. I think it's more beneficial to the movement. I think it's something I enjoy doing, is making those videos. So I do apologize to the people that I can't get back to too. But there's a lot of you out there that know that I have had Skype conversations, phone conversations. Another guy called me the other day. We had a good half-hour conversation, and it's great to hear from people like that. It really makes me feel good. People who have the story where oh man, I heard about you. I heard about Flat Earth, laughed at it. I watched a couple of your videos, and who is this jackass Jeranism? What a joke this guy is. What does he think he knows more than science? And they say they just keep watching more videos and doing their own research and coming back and watching more videos. Before you know it, they're trying to reach out to me to say thank you so much for opening my mind and making me see the world a different way. And so many atheists. David's one. I say that I was one too. There's so many atheists that have come to the idea of a creator and realizing that we are important. We're not a speck of dust flying through outer space at crazy speeds that nobody can ever feel. We are important. We are of prime importance. And I think people need to learn that whatever way that gets across to them. And if Flat Earth is the way that they figure it out and change their life and be a better person, then that's fantastic, in my opinion. So for an example of that,
David Zoom Truth is in the chat. He just said 25 people just signed up. So
sweet.
Yeah, so there's 757 watching. So I'm assuming there's going to be another 700 signing up soon.
Awesome.
And I'm sure David will approve all of them today, right, David?
There you go, Dave. You're on top of it. And again, I will voice my opinion that there's too many Davids. If you're out there and you're having a baby, do not name your child David. Think of something
or
new.
Nathan.
Or Nathan.
Because then he'll definitely be a flat earther if you name him Nathan.
Or Bob. Or John. You can name it Iru and you can name it Jeran. That's about it. But again, your homework for tonight would be to check out this video, Are You Believing a Lie by probably Alexandra. I can't wait to listen to the second half as I start my little journey to Mom's house. So definitely check that out. And Dave, any final words before we head out and enjoy a fantastic Mother's Day?
It is pouring rain here because of a massive chemtrail attack yesterday, but we are going to have a nice Mother's Day dinner.
Would it upset you if I told you it's 95 and beautiful and there's not a cloud in the sky here in California?
No. Yes, no.
Oh, man, it's been beautiful recently. I can't say so enough. It's just been hot and beautiful and pretty. And, but then the chemtrails come. And, I've started filming some of them just to show people when they say, oh, no, that's nothing. Just that is what becomes the clouds. That the sky is perfect. I'll see a chemtrail go across, take a picture of it. 5 minutes later, take another picture of it. And it's just spreading out and becoming the gunk that covers the sky above us. So yesterday was crazy.
Keep an eye out next week for updates to the app, especially the share feature. It's a good, easy way to share it. You can text it, Instagram it, Facebook it. More people that have it will be it's better because people just wake up. It's such a fun tool to show people what you'll know if you're talking to people about flat Earth and you're explaining it to them and they're actually listening. It's not just somebody that has a mental wall up. And then you break out the app. The same thing happens all the time. They look at it. Oh,
I get it now.
That's how it works. And then they start asking more questions.
Absolutely.
The other thing is
it's a great TV
also
tool.
Do what I do in the app. Whenever you share a link, if you have the time, share it from a playlist. So if the person watches it, it'll auto play the next video in the playlist, and you can give them 4, 5, 6 videos to watch. Because if you send them one video and they're brand new to Flat Earth, the next one's going to be a Vsauce video or a Dr. Bob or whatever his name is.
Right, Bob the Lions guy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's been fun. Sorry there's no Globebusters today, as we mentioned. So hopefully, if you were looking for that, you found this and seen that we did a short Globebusterish show. John wasn't quite able to join us. Iru is off on assignment. That's pretty cool to do. We should have people out on assignments. That's fun to say. Anyway, Iru's out doing a observation today, so he didn't join us. And Bob is sick, so hopefully he feels better. Happy Mother's Day to Cammie. Hopefully she's enjoying the day, and maybe she's pampering Bob, but it should probably be the other way around.
So Karen B just in chat asked if anybody will come give her a foot massage. And I suggest, Karen, you should go on the Flat Earth Friend Finder and see if there's any Flat Earthers near you. It's your best bet.
Yeah, I would do that for you, Karen, but I'm too far away. Sorry. So maybe if you ever come by the house or something. All right, guys, it's been fun, and we will see you soon. Again, join us tomorrow night for Jeranism Monday Night Raw. That's Dave and I again. If you aren't tired of hearing my sultry sounds and Dave's Jew New York voice, then come listen to some more of it.
Hey, I resemble that comment.
Yes, you do heavily.
Where is for those of you that don't know, truthfrequencyradio.com. Because people have been asked, I've been asked a few times.
TFRlive.com also works, I believe. I put it up on the screen here, so in yellow. TFRlive.com/listenlive, and if you just go to tfrlive.com right at 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow and click listen live, the show is free in its entirety. If you want to listen to the archives, then I think you have to pay a certain amount a month. But to listen to the show live, it's free and live in 2 hours. And Dave and I shoot the shit for an hour, and then we take fun calls like from the meatball caller. It's always fun, isn't it? Dave, I forgot to ask you. When he
Never
called,
fun.
No, when he called last week, was that just a big joke that he did, or was he? I know we hung up on him, but when he was going on and on, then he said something about a pancake, and he went to a Denny's. Do you remember that?
I don't know. That guy comes on and my brain just shuts off.
Yeah, the guy is just nonsense. Hello, I'm the meatballer
horrible.
caller. Yeah, I can't stand it either. So hopefully one day I'll recognize his phone number and not pick up his call. But till then, we just keep taking calls, keep enjoying each other, and good conversation about the obviously and observably flat plane that we live on. So appreciate you guys joining us, and we will have a Globebusters next week. I will be hosting it. It will be on the Globebusters channel, and Bob will be doing the Force the Line test in Colorado. So again, we'll have somebody else on assignment next week, but you should expect myself and Iru and John and possibly David on the show. So we'll see you guys next week. Until then, do your own research, because when you do, you'll never again believe what you've been told. Peace.
See ya.
Oh, and I forgot to say Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. See ya soon. Enjoy the day. Peace.